You may think what Trump is doing right now
is unconstitutional.
Unconstitutional.
But Trump's actions aren't just unconstitutional, they're anti-constitutional as well. If I say something is unconstitutional, it is an exercise of a power that you just don't have under the Constitution. If I say something is anti-constitutional, it breaks the logic of what a constitution is supposed to be doing. Just looking at the first 100 days of this administration, you get a pretty good example of what this looks like in practice.
You're learning more about the 238 Venezuelan men that the Trump administration recently deported to El Salvador. The Trump administration claims all of them are connected to Venezuelan gangs, but has not provided evidence.
The idea of a government that can whisk anyone away without due process, without a chance to prove your innocence, that is a fundamental violation of the notion of a limited government. That is anti-constitutional. Another good example is just the entire construct of the Department of Government Efficiency.
We do need to delete entire agencies. If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back.
Canceling contracts, canceling programs, firing employees. But these programs, these employees, they are the product of congressional laws. And the only force under the US Constitution that can undo a congressional law is Congress. And a president exercising anti-constitutional authority, it's jeopardizing our fundamental task as citizens to preserve the Constitution for Americans that come after us. One of the things I very much believe in is just the primacy of human agency. My grandparents and great-grandparents, lived through Jim Crow. But they didn't relinquish their agency. They tried as much as they could to exercise it within those constraints. The Black Americans who end up toppling Jim Crow do so on the foundation of their agency, of their recognition that just because there is this tyrannical regime does not mean that they've lost all ability to act. And so when it comes to our present situation, I think the best way for citizens to respond to this behavior is to show how they feel on the streets. We don't want to live in a kind of country where the president has this kind of unaccountable power, where random billionaires can dismantle public programs. That, I think, is part of what will help push back on this, and part of what will build the political will to begin to reverse it.
Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash, and a sincere salutations to the hopeful elect, and also a healthy shalom to the few Akwath who are listening and learning. Lord's willing, this lesson be edifying. So as we continue to witness the downfall of America, Babylon, the Great, the citizens here continue to wish for the healing of this place, man. They're praying, they're hoping, they're burning incense, they're doing whatever they can to help heal Babylon, man. And the Heavenly Father says this place is not going to be healed, okay? We're witnessing the end of an empire, whether you people want to believe it or not. And no amount of protesting, no amount of holding signs, no amount of writing letters to your congressmen, your senators, okay, your elected officials is going to heal this place. All right. Matter of fact, look how much protesting and picketing the Northern Kingdom did, okay, on this whole immigration situation. And where did that lead them? All right, getting their ass carted, okay, to Florida, to Alligator Alcatraz, okay? So, or to one of these detention, one of many, detention centers or camps, whatever you want to call them. But ultimately, America is not going to be healed. Let's grab Isaiah chapter 47, and we're going to start at verse 1. It reads, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." All right. America is in a low estate. It's a shell of itself. All right. It resembles a third world country, you know, and a lot of these major cities are worse than a third world country. All right. You're seeing opioid addicts with the lean on every corner. You're seeing feces, urine in parks and prominent city streets. Okay. America is on the decline. And it also says sit in the dust. That dust is representing confusion. And these people are confused at what's happening. What's taking place? How have the mighty failed so fast, man? Okay, this once prestigious country, this country that was put on a pedestal around the world by all other nations, man. How did it end up in this condition? All right. The people are confused, even though the Heavenly Father has his prophets telling the people why all these things are taking place and also informing them on what's to come after. All right. So it reads, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. Right. There is no throne. There is no continuation of this American rulership. All right. This empire is not going to go on forever. All empires fall. All right. The average lifespan of an empire is 250 years. All right. And America's time is up. Okay. I believe America is like 200 and either a little bit over or under 250. All right. So the writing is on the wall, man. The signs are right in front of your face. So it reads, O daughter, it says, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right. America is no more being called tender and delicate, man. No longer by its allies. OK, and they're even hated more by their enemies. OK, matter of fact, their allies and their enemies are on the same page, man. You know, looking at this whore and saying, you know what? This whore, she's the real problem of the earth. She's the one causing us to bicker and fight back and forth. All right, let's get to the root cause of this problem. And it's America. So it says, take the millstone and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Right. And that's exactly what the Heavenly Father has done, man. Okay. You know, the Heavenly Father has put all the sins of this whore on display for the world to see in 4K. All right. When it comes to their forked tongue, how they make deals and renege on them, you know, we see how those Amalekites are committing a genocide over on that side of the world. You know, I'm not going to say too much, but y'all know what I'm talking about. OK, but the Heavenly Father has put the actions of the wicked, these Edomites, on display. OK, and giving you a firsthand view and account on why this kingdom is being translated, why this empire is falling. OK. OK. Ultimately, as a matter of fact, let me grab that. Where is it? I think it's in Sirach, the 10th chapter. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 8. It reads, because of unrighteous dealings injuries, and riches got by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. Right. And that's why this empire is crumbling. And it's nothing you can do to save this whore. OK, she has lived so lavishly for so long, man. So long she's been put on a high. And you know what they say? OK, you know, roughly paraphrasing, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. So this place is going to have an ultimate fall. All right, an ultimate fall, because this is the beauty of all empires, man. America is that empire. So it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Right, speaking of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who you people ignorantly call Jesus. All right, he came lowly on an ass, okay, and y'all rejected him. The next time, his second coming, hey, he's going to return in all his glory and help with the aiding of destroying America, Babylon the Great. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord out of one of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Yasharallah. From here, let's grab Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7. It says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Right, all the world has drunken of her ideologies, okay, her philosophies, okay, that live as thou, do as thou wilt, living in pleasure, okay, without consequence. And these nations in the world is look at where following after America has gotten us. Okay, everything that's shiny and glitters isn't gold, man. These other nations, their women are out of order. What little order they had in their countries already, but following the ways of America with this feminism and everything that this place has to offer. All the wickedness, man. All right. These nations are learning. It says, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Nah, ain't no healing this place. Hey, I don't know if y'all can hear this wind, but these are the winds of destruction that's coming to this place, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Right, because that's her ultimate judgment, man. All right, the ultimate judgment of America is it being destroyed in the Third World War by intercontinental ballistic missiles, okay, in 1 hour. So you can, picket, you can protest, you can do whatever your heart's desire, okay, to try to heal this place. But thus saith the Lord, America is coming to an end. And it doesn't matter what you do, all right? This whore that has lived so deliciously, okay, by the rape and robbery, the robbing of resources from the Lord's chosen people and all the nations of the earth who have sat on high, whose pride is through the roof, Okay? She is about to be stripped naked, humiliated, and humbled, man. Matter of fact, she's what was the I can't even think of her name, man. It just reminded me of a scene from Game of Thrones when the queen, man, got humiliated when they made her walk butt booty naked through the city. But anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah, man, there's no hill in this place, man. So, Lord's willing, this was edifying. Shalom, Israel. Wa abad babal.